Hello there and welcome to the News Hour at 9. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin the news on issues around security. The 4 remaining siblings of late Nabiha Al-Qadriya, abducted recently in Abuja, have regained freedom. The girls reportedly arrived at their Abuja residence to the joy of family members, escorted by some security operatives. Their release is coming after spending 19 days in captivity following the abduction on January the 2nd, 2024. The 4 victims are Najiba, a 500-level quantity surveying student, her younger sister, Nadira, 300-level zoology student, both of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and their twin sisters, Habiba and Hanisa. Uncle to the girls, Sharif Dean, confirmed the development to Daily Trust correspondent in a telephone chat on Sunday morning. According to him, the girls' release was secured late on Saturday and they were already heading home as at the time our reporters contacted him. It was gathered that although the 100 million naira ransom placed on them had since been paid, the bandits held onto them for days, putting the family in suspense until Saturday night. Earlier in a statement signed by Sharifuddin Al-Qadriya, the family thanked Nigerians for standing by them during the trying and traumatic period. And police operatives on Sunday rescued another kidnapped victim, one Suleiman Sabo, from kidnappers' den in Soka along Airport Road in Abuja. In the rescue operation, one Muhammad Abel, male aged 32 from Kogi State, was equally apprehended, and one La rifle with 10 rounds of live ammunition recovered from him. The victim, who sustained some injuries from the kidnappers, is currently receiving medical attention and would be reunited with his family once certified fit by the medical team. And join us live at this time, we have on set Dr. Stephen Okwori. He is a security and management expert. Doctor, welcome to the News Hour. So basically, first of all, it's been, barely 48 hours that we're talking on one of our programs, Daybreak, on the issue of kidnapping and the escalating insecurity issues here in Nigeria. So what do you make of these developments today, barely 48 hours after the conversation? Would you say that the situation has improved, or is still the same old story?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I don't think anything has changed, sincerely. Before I go on, I want my condolences to the family of one of the girls from the family that were released, if you ask me. May her soul, gentle soul, rest in peace.
Amen.
Now, the families of the remaining girls that were released are so happy that their loved ones are back. But they have forgotten that they also lost a loved one, you know. So that's the irony of it. Now, when you were reading out your story, or in the news, you talked about, your reporter said 100 million naira was paid as ransom. So it means that they were not rescued.
So basically, they weren't released as a result of police or security efforts. This is still the same old story of being abducted, paying ransom before you're released. That is, if the kidnappers are sympathetic enough to release your loved ones.
Exactly. There's a difference between release and rescue. In the event of where they were rescued, it means nothing was paid. The police or the law enforcement rescued them. But in the event where they were released, it means something went down. And 100 million naira went down, you know. So it's a pathetic thing. I just want to believe that our law enforcement agents are trying their best to see that victims or Nigerians don't fall victims into the hands of kidnappers. Just the way I said, Nigerians pay heavily for ransom. You know, 650 million in a year, over 300 million in a year, you know. What are we talking about?
Doctor, you have a doctorate degree specifically in security management and strategic studies. Looking at the situation now, Would you say that the security agencies are barely looking for a quick win? Because we know within the previous week, we saw the Inspector General of Police commission, or if you would like, launch the Special Intervention Squad. And since then, it's been one story about arrests, to another, failed attempts, arrests here, arrests made there. But really, it doesn't change the fact that people are still being abducted, and a lot of Nigerians who have been abducted, both within the FCT and outside the FCT, are still within the den of their captives. So is this all just a facade or barely a means to save face on the side of the security agencies?
See, my brother, let us be serious about what we are doing. If we are fighting insecurity in this country, we should be seen to be fighting insecurity. Now, the Chinaza guy that was arrested in Kaduna, that was sent to the FCT, that he was perpetrating acts of kidnapping in the FCT. Yes, it's a good, let me say it's a good report. At least to a reasonable extent, we are seeing that somebody is being arrested in that regard. But that same fellow is saying that they are framing him up. How do we now begin to look at the stories now? The acts of kidnapping in the FCT or in Nigeria at large, it's so lot that we are looking at one or two persons being arrested in that regard. This is a syndicate. There are a group of people that are perpetrating this act. Why are we looking at one person at the end of the day that is being arrested? I think that there's a lot that the police needs to do. You see, they need to convince Nigerians that they are doing their job. Now, they can do it in a clandestine way. They mustn't announce themselves. They can carry out sting operations. Now, the announcement that the IGP did, that they have launched a special intervention squad. Are you telling me that the kidnappers did not hear of the news? Some of them have taken their victims into places where the police cannot even find, even try to locate them.
But Doctor, in all of this, don't you think that the police, as well as other sister security agencies, are doing the best that they can, bearing in mind that, of course, they have their own limitations to, as much as possible, control the situation as it is?
Are we interested in that? Nigerians are not interested in that. We're not interested in excuses. They've been assigned to do the job. They've been paid to do the job. And they've asked for certain equipment, instruments, motivations, and all that to do the job. And the government is ready to provide those things that they have asked for. Nigerians are not interested in excuses. We're not interested in the government telling us that this is the reason why they are not succeeding. They've sworn to an oath to protect lives and property. So why are we in this situation?
All right, Doctor, I really want to ask you more questions, but then again, we're constrained by time. Dr. Stephen Okori, Security and Management Consultant, thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour.
Thank you for having me.
Do have a good evening. Thank you so much. Yes, moving on. Now, the Lagos State Police Command says its operatives have arrested 3 suspected cultists in the Shashi area of the state. The command spokesperson, SP Benjamin Hundeyin, disclosed this to newsmen on Sunday. He said the achievement is in line with the State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayoade's commitment to rid the state of criminals. Hundeyin said that the 3 suspects were arrested on Saturday at about 6:30 a.m. by the police. According to him, the command got information that some boys were seen in military uniform disturbing the peace of the Okiodan community in Ishashi, and quickly drafted its men to the community and arrested the suspects aged between 24 and 39. Hundeyin said that an investigation has begun and the suspects will soon be charged to court. And operatives of the Ogun State Community Social Orientation and Safety Corps, codenamed So Safe Corps, have arrested one Kabiru Adedotun, popularly called KB, an alleged notorious member of the Eye Confraternity for terrorizing Ogun communities, while a cut-to-size pistol was also recovered from him. This was contained in a statement issued on Sunday from the office of the State Commander of the Corps, Commander Soji Gonzalo, through the office of the Director of Information and Public Relations of the Corps, Assistant Commander Maruf Yusuf. The statement revealed that the tactical squad of the Corps, while on routine patrol, got information which made the team go after the suspected cultist. He was said to have been promptly arrested, and a cut-to-size pistol was recovered from his room at Totoro, Abeokuta, in the Abeokuta North local government area of Ogun State. The suspect was equally said to have allegedly confessed to having been involved in a number of criminal activities in the state. Also, normalcy has returned to Ja Enyama in Gwale local government area of Kano State, where angry youth attempted to set ablaze sack-producing company Fast Agro over the death of a factory worker, Mohammed Tukur Adamu. According to eyewitnesses, Adamu died following a fight with a co-worker in the premises of the company on Sunday morning. Angered by the development, some thugs from the area attempted to enter the company premises to demand justice for the deceased. This, however, led to a breakdown of law and order as some of the protesters vandalized the company's equipment and looted people's valuables, including the motorcycle of a security guard attached to the company. A quick intervention by police saved the situation from further degenerating. And join us right now to give update via telephone, we have Trust TV Kano State Bureau Chief, Datti Ahmed. Welcome to the News Hour, Ahmed. First of all, can you probably clarify and give us more information as to the situation and the circumstances that played out before the unfortunate death of the deceased?
Good evening, Sagir. What actually happened was that there was actually a fight between co-workers. One account said Tukur Adamu and James were fighting, and then Tukur fell and then died. And another account said that Tukur was actually trying to separate two people fighting, and then James descended on him and he died. When the news of his death broke, some talks from the area, Jain, you mentioned in Gwale local government area, actually mobilized and started vandalizing property and all that. And they tried to set the company ablaze, but quick intervention from the police, Sharada division, actually saved the situation.
All right, Ahmed, we have two conflicting causes or likely causes of the scenario. So one said probably Adamu was involved in a fight, and the other said the deceased was trying to separate two persons fighting. However, what is the police saying as regards to the cause of his death, and also what are they saying with regards to investigation, and the whole issues around it?
Police just promised discreet investigation. But they've announced arrest of certain thugs, that were involved in the rampage. So far, the police are silent on the investigation, and until probably the investigation out, we'll get to know more from what happened. They are actually silent. They established the fact that the guy died from as a result of a blow from the other guy, James.
Okay, Ahmed, can you give us an assessment of whether Fast Agro, the premises on the company where this unfortunate event happened, is in shape to continue production? Because, of course, we know that if that is affected in any way, it might affect productivity and, of course, business around that area.
Yeah, but I actually visited the area in the afternoon, and I can confirm to you that normalcy was restored. However, the Fast Agro, the company involved in this, they are not actually talking. There was still presence of security men, deployed to maintain law and order. That's all I can say.
All right, Ahmed Datti, Kano State Bureau Chief, thank you so much for joining in on the News Hour and giving update as regards to your beat.
Thank you, Sergio.
And residents of Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, have decried the high number of deaths recorded across the state in the last 3 months due to insurgency. The residents who spoke to Trust TV estimated that no fewer than 700 people have been killed in the period under review and called on the state government and security agencies to rise to the challenge of addressing insecurity in the state. Here's the report.
According to some residents, areas mostly affected include the Jalingo Metropolitan Area, Primary Board Area, Takanaban, CBN quarters, among other places. They also said under local government area, the bandits attacked Kunini, Garindogo and other places, while Euro Council area was also not spared as they attacked and abducted scores of residents. In the Zing local government, residents said gunmen destroyed Munkin and Jereng among others, while they demolished Andami, Zelani and Usumanu areas of Karim Lamido local government area.
The chiefs, if they should come together and discuss this issue, I think it would at least soften this issue of insecurity.
Some religious leaders also decried the rate of destruction inflicted on communities by terrorists and called for concerted efforts from relevant stakeholders to address the menace.
But in our own case here, no major is taken. Don't be surprised, even you can find some security operatives even discussing these challenges openly among them. So there maybe the political class are the ones who are not aware of it, or they don't have the political will to take the situation, to tackle the situation.
The imams, the church, the mosques must come together. Let me ask you, my brother, how comes that when we are pagans, we don't have this problem? Now that we have two religions and we have this problem, something is wrong somewhere. It must be corrected.
Some traditional rulers applauded the efforts of the state government in addressing security challenges across the state, but however called for more to be done to free the state of insurgency.
We are not in war with anybody, so anybody want to fight us, we are getting. We must find a way to solve this problem amicably without even getting whoever is saying that the government should come and negotiate with. But to negotiate with who? So to me, the idea of negotiation does not come.
The police public relations officer in the state, Abdullahi Usman, said security agencies are on top of the situation to ensure peaceful coexistence in the state. He called on the clergymen and traditional rulers to advise their followers against associating with criminal elements to ensure that peace reigns in their domain.
When you talk about many things happening within the state and tribe in general, I want to tell you that we had reported cases of kidnappings and robbery, in which, on receipt of all these incidents, which are very ugly in nature.
Stakeholders are unanimous in their belief that with the support of everyone, insecurity will be reduced to the barest minimum.
And religious stakeholders have called for peaceful coexistence among Nigerians and the world at large. This view was stressed by speakers at the closing ceremony of a Quranic competition organized by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in conjunction with an Islamic organization in Ilorin, Kwara State. Here's the report.
It was the closing ceremony of the Quranic competition organized by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in conjunction with an Ilorin-based Islamic organization. The need for peaceful coexistence among people of different faiths dominated the discussion from different speakers. The cultural attaché of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia assured of the determination of his country to ensure peace in the world.
It is also committed to fostering the foundations of peaceful coexistence among the people of the world and to showcasing the true voice of Islam based on the guidance of the Quran and the Sunnah.
The Grand Qadi of the State Sharia Court of Appeal and a professor of Islamic Studies, University of Ilorin, told the same lie. He called for harmonious and mutual relationship.
I want to advise the world that we should try as much as possible to maintain peace among ourselves, because Islam itself preaches peace, harmony and tranquility. So if we are a Muslim, a practicing Muslim, you must follow the rule and regulations laid by the Quran.
We have to live together peacefully. And as Muslims, we must be the shining examples that others should follow in this respect. So as you have noted that, he highlighted that, he emphasized that fact that this is exactly what Saudi stands for.
The state governor, who was represented by the secretary of the state government, urged Muslims to emulate the prophet, while he assures that the government will continue to maintain peace in the state.
Every good thing in the world is the one you call it. Quran will not like you to cause problem for anybody. Your brother's neighbor is your neighbor. For according to Hadith, Hadith is not far from the Holy Quran. According to the Hadith, from here, from the west, from the east, from the south, from the north, your neighbor is about 40 houses, 40 households. You should live in harmony with them.
The event is an annual gathering to remind Muslims of the need to maintain sustainable and lasting peace in the areas they found themselves.
Meanwhile, a 10-story building on Broad Street, Lagos Island local government area of Lagos State reportedly caught fire early on Sunday. The director of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adesheye, who disclosed this to newsmen on Sunday, said the fire, whose cause was yet to be identified, rocked the popular Mandelas building in the area, starting from the first floor of the building and escalated to the 4th floor. Adesheye disclosed that emergency responders from the Ebute Elefun and Sari Gomu fire stations rushed to the scene to curb further escalation and put the situation under control. And in politics, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been declared winner of all contested 27 chairmanship and councillorship positions in Borno State. The chairman of the Borno State Independent Electoral Commission made the announcement after the conclusion of collation of results from the local council at its head office in Maiduguri. He added that candidates who emerge winners will be issued certificates on Monday.
The ruling party, APC, has won all the 27 local government council elections in the state. Equally, the ruling party has won 312 council members in all the wards in the state. With this, we have concluded, we have come to the end of this exercise, and the certificate presentation will be made at a later date, which will be announced very soon. Thank you.
In a high-profile gathering set to take place on Thursday in Abuja, the 21st edition of the Daily Trust Dialogue will feature prominent figures, including the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. The event will serve as a platform to analyze the multifaceted economic reforms initiated by President Bola Tinubu's administration, operating under the theme Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers. Joining Mr. Edun as guest speakers are Comrade Joseph Ajero, President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, and Victoria Kai, the immediate past Director General of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The distinguished lineup also includes economists, industrialists, and key figures such as Professor Mutaka Usman from Ahmadu Bello University, Dr. Tokpe Fashwa, Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Alhaji Muhammad Dammaka Abubakar, CEO of L&Z Integrated Dairy Farms Limited, and Mr. Taimur Samad, Operations Manager at the World Bank Country Office in Abuja. Honorable Muhammadu Morubago, the Governor of Niger State and a member of the 9th House of Representatives, is confirmed as a special guest, alongside other prominent figures like Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwa Yahya, Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, and Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the Governor of Anambra State. The statement signed by Ahmed Shekaro, the Acting Group Chief Executive Officer of the Media Trust Group, revealed that the 2024 dialogue will also witness the presentation of the 2023 Daily Trust African of the Year Award to Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, a South African humanist. Since its inception in 2002, the Media Trust Group has consistently hosted this public lecture series, attracting distinguished guests including past heads of government, leaders of the National Assembly, and notable figures from the diplomatic corps. The dialogue has also welcomed eminent personalities from across Africa, making it a renowned annual event. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Imo parents, pupils lament poor primary schools conditions. This and of course many more stories after the break. Stay with us.
Wherever you are in the world, it's the moment you've all been waiting for.
Watch all 52 matches live on Star Times.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's Economic Reforms, Gainers and Losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigeria Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding and participation, please contact 081-5176-4600 or 080-3392-8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.
Al-Qadriya sisters regain freedom after 19 days in captivity. Fire guts 10-story building in Lagos. Two more stories now. A housewife in Bauchi State has appealed to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Agbetukun, to investigate the complaint she brought against the serving Deputy Immigration Superintendent, Sani Muazu, on alleged raping her in front of her children. The victim also, during an interview with Trust TV, lamented that the Commissioner of Police had failed to investigate her case, but swiftly arrested her husband. Trust TV Adamu Imam completes the report.
The victim, a mother of two, still in trauma after the police failed to investigate her complaint. Instead, they arrested and detained her husband Yusuf Samaila, allegedly on defamation of character. Frustrated by poor response from the Nigerian police, she approached a human rights organization, African Child Development and Human Rights Protection Bauchi, as well as legal practitioners seeking for justice. This accused Sani Saleh Muazu. They are from the same locality with my husband. They grew up together. That is how we met with him. He deceived my husband and collected so many things from him till everything finished. He took us to Bauchi and kept us. He defiled me in the presence of my children. I felt bad. My kids are not going to school. We have nothing to eat. Their father was detained for 11 days now. This is where we are now. They are taking care of us, feeding and shelter. We are from Zamfara. Later, we relocate to Kaduna and now Bauchi. They approached me and I gave them place to stay because we don't know who can render help to us in the future. She has two small children. She is a woman. If she is a man, it will have been different entirely. He can be anywhere. But a woman needs protection. Anything can happen to her while she is in trauma. Speaking on the development, founder of African Child Development and Human Rights Protection, Barrister Muhammad Al-Qasim, decried Bauchi Commissioner of Police for failing to investigate a serious crime of such magnitude, while a human rights organization reminded and drew the attention of the police to their primary duty of protecting life and properties under Section 4 of the Nigerian Police Act.
To call or draw the attention of the Commissioner of Police, Bauchi Command, to rearrest the suspect, investigate properly, and then prosecute in accordance with the provisions and extant laws of Bauchi State and Nigeria at large.
Is an issue of great magnitude, not only in Nigeria but in the whole world. Hence the reason why it must be given due consideration and it must be taken with all the kind of seriousness it deserves.
Reacting in a statement, the police public relations officer Ahmed Wakil said contrary to the claim of the civil society organization, the Commissioner of Police received a petition from G. Hassan and Co. dated December 12, 2023. According to him, the Commissioner of Police, Awal Muhammad, had directed the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the matter. He noted that it is a capital offense and investigation is still ongoing and that the outcome will be revealed to the public soon. On the arrest of the victim's husband, the PPRO disclosed that the command receives petition from Nazir Umar Chamba against the husband on aiding, abetting, kidnapping, and defamation of character against the rape-accused person. Adami Mao, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Well, there you have it. Hoping justice is done in the situation. Meanwhile, in a significant move to alleviate housing congestion, the Jigawa State government has announced the construction of 1,500 housing units across 8 local government areas in the state. The areas include Dutse, Hadeja, Gumel, Kazauri, Ringim, Babura Birnin Kudu, and Kafin Hausa have been identified as highly congested with a soaring demand for accommodation. Here's the report.
The special event, graced by the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, as a guest of honor, showcased the commitment of the Umar Namadi administration to spearhead transformative developments. The minister expressed confidence in the administration's endeavors, stating that the future of Jigawa State is not only bright, but also promising.
I'm happy with the progress so far. Since my arrival, everybody I see is happy and smiling, and they are telling me that you kept your word. We have done well. We have great leader. We promised a great leader, and indeed he is great. He has delivered to the mandate, and this is a small portion on what he will do.
Governor Umar Namadi, addressing the crowd, emphasized that the housing projects will be funded by the Jigawa State government. He, however, said that plans are already in motion to involve development partners through a public-private partnership for subsequent phases of affordable housing construction. This strategic collaboration aims to address the growing needs of residents in the state.
Inshallah, we shall continue to build the houses across the state as long as the need arises and as long as we remain in government, inshallah. We shall be able to make houses affordable and accessible to the people of Jigawa State. This project was part of the campaign promises and commitment we have made to the good people of Jigawa State, which was also captured in the development plan of the state, coordinating the 12-point agenda of this administration.
The ambitious housing project signals a proactive approach by the Jigawa State government to tackle the housing crisis in densely populated areas.
Elsewhere, the Katsina State government, through the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has supported hundreds of physically challenged persons with food, clothing, and other relief materials. The beneficiaries were randomly picked from the streets of Katsina and other major towns across the state as part of efforts to address their plight through empowerment, training on skills and capital to start up businesses. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
Worried by the current economic hardship and the difficulty Nigerians, especially the physically challenged, are facing, Katsina State government deemed it necessary to assist these vulnerable groups.
We have over 200 beneficiaries, both males and females. They are being selected, some of them from the street. We want to make them happy. We want to bring them into the society so that they will understand and know that the government is doing everything possible to make them happy.
Among the beneficiaries are people living with spinal cord injuries, deaf and dumb, widows and orphans, as well as those affected by disasters who find it difficult to make ends meet. These beneficiaries are extremely happy and overwhelmed, saying this is the first time the government is identifying with them, especially at a critical moment when they struggle for food to survive. I want to commend the initiative of providing relief materials to us. I think this effort should be commended. I also want to encourage other well-to-do and corporate bodies to do same. There is hunger everywhere. Poverty-stricken population are dying. We need help. We want to thank the efforts of Governor Dikko Radda's administration of providing relief materials to us. We sincerely appreciate him for this. We will utilize it judiciously to serve the purpose it was given. Earlier, hundreds of people affected by heavy windstorm, flooding, and fire disasters across the state received assistance from the state government through its emergency response organization.
8 local governments have been benefited, and from each local government, we've selected 46 beneficiaries, 25 of critical and then partial collapse, 26.
Public commentators suggest immediate implementation of all palliatives and salary wage grants, as well as living wage for all Nigerian employees to save the country from imminent collapse. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And in other developments, the Lagos State government on Sunday announced a ban on the usage and distribution of styrofoam and other single-use plastics in the state with immediate effect. This was announced by the Commissioner of Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, in a statement he personally signed. According to Wahab, the decision was reached following the menace which the single-use plastics, especially the non-biodegradable styrofoam, was causing on the environment. He added that most drainage channels in the state are daily clogged up by styrofoam through its indiscriminate distribution and usage, despite the regular cleaning and evacuation of the drains with humongous amounts. He reiterated that the larger chunks of littering across major roads and markets, which Lagos Waste Management Authority (LOMA) contends with daily, is made up of styrofoam. The commissioner added that the state government cannot fold its hands and watch the continued desecration of its environment, especially for a coastal city. He has subsequently directed LOMA and the Kick Against Indiscipline to immediately commence the implementation of the ban. Also, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, and 20 concerned Nigerians have filed a lawsuit against the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, for unilaterally and arbitrarily increasing the allocation for lawmakers from 197 billion naira to 344 billion naira, their highest since the return of democracy in 1999. SERAP, in a statement on Sunday, said Akpabio and Abbas are sued for themselves and on behalf of all members of the National Assembly. The lawmakers had last month raised their allocation from 197 billion naira proposed by President Bola Tinubu for them in the budget to 344 billion naira. With the development, the lawmakers will in total draw 14 billion naira from the 2024 budget. This is not the first time such is happening, as the lawmakers have in 2023 arbitrarily increased their own budget from the originally proposed 169 billion to 228 billion. In the suit number FHC ABC CS/68/2024, filed last Friday at the Federal High Court Abuja, the plaintiffs are asking the court to determine whether the lawmakers, in the exercise of their powers over appropriation money bills, can unilaterally increase their own budget without the representation of the budget by the executive. And some northern groups described the recent move the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to revisit allegation of financial fraud against 13 former governors as a part of sinister motive to ridicule the northern leaders with a view to achieve certain political objectives. The group, which addressed a news conference in Kaduna, says while it commended the anti-graft body for going against corrupt public office holders, it is also demanding that the agency stick to due process in its operation and not resort to media trial against the former governors and others serving under the Tinubu administration. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more on the details.
As we appreciate the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC under its current chairman, Ola Olukoyede, in the fight against corruption, the group says it is worried over what it calls engagement in media trial against yet to be indicted past and present northern leaders with a view to achieve certain ulterior motives. The group was reacting to recent publication in a national daily titled EFCC Revives 13 ex-governors 772 billion fraud cases, in which it said is a big embarrassment to the region, former leaders, their families, as against the need to preserve their innocence until proven guilty.
The Commission should not allow itself to become a tool of political vendetta, blackmail or intimidations against any Nigerians, individual, through personal grudge, persecution, campaign of calumny, in order to tarnish the image of that certain personality because of political differences or because he was seen as perceived political enemy or trying to destroy his character, hiding under the executive power of those people who have sponsored the allegation.
The group, rising from a two-day meeting in Kaduna, urged the Commission not allow itself to become a tool of political vendetta, blackmail, or intimidation against any individual through personal grudges, persecution, and campaign of calumny.
Even the serving political leader under the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not sufficient. Bello Matawale was successfully screened and cleared by the Department of State Security and EFCC many weeks before appearing to the Senate for another screening, and subsequently he was cleared as a Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Former National Chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, former governors Danjuma Goje Rabi'u Musa Kwankwaso, Aliyu Magatakada Wamako, Bello Muhammad Matawale, Sule Lamido, among others, were mentioned in the publication, which generated anxiety amongst the group. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And to developments in the North Central region, the Niger State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps have arrested 4 suspects in connection with the operation of an illegal petroleum refinery and sales of adulterated petroleum products in Sabon Wuse, Tafa local government area of the state. The public relations officer of the command, Nasiru D. Abdullahi, said in a statement that the oil refinery was discovered by anti-vandal squad of the command, through where dozens of drums of adulterated petroleum products mixed with other chemicals were sold to vehicle owners on a daily basis. Abdullahi gave names of the suspects as Abdullahi Musa, a 45-year-old from Jigawa State, Hussein Suleiman, 25 years from Nasarawa State, Murtala Muhammad, 37, and Muhammad Sanusi, 35, both from Kano State. He said an apartment used for soap production was also uncovered with many drums and chemicals, saying that during interrogation, the suspects could not produce any license of operation. He said the state commandant of the Corps in Niger State, Yoachin Okafo, had directed a total war against all acts of vandalism or critical national asset and infrastructure in the state. And the absence of governance, especially at the grassroots, is affecting the primary education as well as primary health care in major states across the country. Trust TV at Jibadi Praise has more of the details.
I am currently in one of the classrooms of the early year primary school, Nazi. The condition of it tells of the sorry state the primary education of the state find itself.
Like this particular school, most of the government-owned primary schools in the state, especially the ones in rural areas, are in a deteriorating state, dilapidated, with no toilet for convenience, and where there is one, is often with no running water for effective usage. People in the state attributed the menace to bad governance and lack of functional local government system in place.
But we know that the local government councils have constitutional duties and responsibilities that they're supposed to be doing for us. And they are the closest government to the people. I remember when I was growing up as a child, I did not come to Owerri for anything. I went to my local government headquarters, Iho. That's where we did everything. We had a bank there. We had every service we needed. That's where we went to. But now we don't know what the local government people are supposed to do for us. So
it was something bad. So we're here for you to see what we've done and for you to take the message and tell the whole world that there is need for intervention in primary schools in the Southeast. And there's also need for intervention in health centers in the Southeast.
Thus, situation has made most parents and guardians to withdraw their children and wards from the public schools to private ones. Some of the children who are at the receiving end speak on the situation.
Look at the it. It's spoiled and anyhow. No one's fix it. But private schools, once it's spoiled, they fix it. Look at the toilet. They don't have water system.
They have toilet too, but if they put water, they spoil it. They have chairs, desks. Let them repair everything. Let them be desks, locker, chairs, and water. The place in this school, I'll make it.
I want them to replace the zincs and the water system. We need water in this school.
Though there are efforts by the government to salvage the situation, just like this one behind me here, it was recently built for the school. The people of the community are equally hopeful that government will extend their hand to buildings like these and many others that cut across the state. This, they believe, if put in place, will provide the needed conducive environment for the learning of the children. It will also go to better the primary education of the state. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Thanks to Ajibade Praise for that report. Moving on now, the British Council in Nigeria has again increased the fee for the English language testing system examinations by 29%. According to a notice published on the Council's website, applicants will now pay the sum of 139,000 for the computer, academic and general training modules from February 1st, 2024. The examination is widely accepted globally by non-native English speakers as evidence of their language proficiency. The council blamed the change in fee hike on the costs of conducting examinations. Still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. More stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted sunshine and hazy weather conditions from Sunday to Tuesday across the country. Well, NIMET's weather outlook released on Saturday in Abuja predicted sunny and hazy atmosphere over the northern and north-central states during the forecast period. The agency said a moderate dust haze with visibility range of 2 kilometers to 5 kilometers is anticipated over the inland state throughout the forecast period. It envisaged early morning mist or fog over the coastal states and patches of clouds in a hazy atmosphere over the coastal states during the afternoon and evening hours in inland states during the forecast period. Early morning mist and fog is expected over the coastal states as NIMET anticipated slight dust haze over the northern states throughout the forecast period on Tuesday. Also, a sunny and hazy atmosphere is expected over the north, central and inland states during the forecast period, with patches of clouds in a hazy atmosphere over the coastal states throughout the forecast period. The agency called on the public to take necessary precaution, while those with asthma and other respiratory issues should be cautious of the present weather condition. And to the global scene now, fighting rages across Gaza as Israeli troops push into Khan Yunis as units raided the West Bank on Sunday after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected calls for post-war Palestinian sovereignty. There were reports of gunfire, airstrikes and tank shelling in Khan Yunis, Gaza's main southern city. On Saturday evening, thousands of Israelis demonstrated calling for the return of hostages held in Gaza and early elections to oust Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli military released photos of a kilometer-long tunnel with holding cells where Hamas allegedly kept about 20 hostages. Also, Health Ministry in Hamas-run Gaza says at least 24,927 people have been killed, mostly women and children, in Israeli strikes on the enclave since October 7. Israeli officials say 1,139 people were killed in the Hamas-led October 7 attacks in southern Israel. Militant fighters took some 240 hostages during the attack, and 136 are still in Gaza, according to Israeli forces. And the federal government has congratulated Elizabeth Oshoba for becoming the first Nigerian female boxer to clinch a world title. The Honorable Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Onwaenu, in his congratulatory message stated that the feat presents a motivation for women in sports. Senator Onwaenu explained that Oshoba's victory is a testament to the resilience and talent that Nigerian athletes possess and the never-say-die spirit that they embody. Senator Onwaenu added that with an unblemished professional record of 7-0, she has not only claimed the world champion title in the women's featherweight category, but has also etched her name in the annals of Nigerian sports history. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do follow us across all of our social platforms and also join our live stream on YouTube for more news, documentaries and programs. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Good night.